Hello, everyone. I'm Toronto TC Computer Consulting, and today we're going to keep it short, I promise. If you haven't seen the last two videos on cybersecurity, please do take the time to watch them. I've been getting spectacular feedback on those. There's a lot of data. I spoke way too much. I gave way too much information there, so I'll just give you a forewarning on that. But I have been getting great reviews, and it's very relevant actually to today's topic, which is what is the true cost if you don't have a plan. Well, I kind of opened that can of beans and spilled it all over the place in the first day and the second day, because I don't know how to talk with one about the other. I'm a very causality type of person, but if we look at really what the cost could be for not having a plan, let's skip monetary for a while and let's talk about what the purpose of your business is, because that's the thing that you can lose. That's the ultimate price, in terms of a business. Now, if you have specialized data, if you have financial data of other people, if you have their social security numbers, driver licenses, anything that other people could commit fraud with, then you have an even greater purpose to make sure that that information is as secure as possible. They entrusted it with you. You need to make sure you're doing your job there. So you just got to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're not just ruining your business, you could potentially be ruining a lot of lives, just causing a lot of stress and anxiety and just awful things, right? So, there's a whole different level of costs I'm going to address right out of the gate. Now let's get down to what the costs are, the hard costs are for businesses. Now, I got these statistics off the internet. They're pretty accurate because I've seen them just slightly askew from each other from various sources, and I have double checked all of these. If you ever need to get some good sources for this stuff, just reach out and contact me, and I'll provide them. But here's some interesting stats. About $6,700 right now is the average ransomware, and it's going up. 67 was actually the end of the year. I just saw a new stat that said it's getting closer to 13. So, but I haven't seen that correlated yet. But if you listen to what's going on in the industry, and we hear a lot of people getting hit with this stuff on our side every day. 13,000 sounds about right for like a 30 or 40 seat company. If they Now, here's the thing: 17% never got the keys to their kingdom back, and that's an end of 2018 stat. So 17% paid the money and were still in the same boat at the end of the day that they were in the beginning. Now here comes some other interesting, more of the hard costs. Average incident length 6.2 days. That's 6.2 days of probably various systems working, not working, whatever. It's just 6.2 days of downtime. And the average downtime cost is $64,000. Obviously, this is for small business. Any business that's larger than 30 seats, $64,000. I mean, even we cover some companies that if they're down, they're gonna lose more than $64,000 a day. So I think that stat's actually low. Here's a very interesting statistic. And it's interesting because we used to find that many people that we would see as prospects wouldn't have good backup in place. And we're going back, 15 years on this concept of making sure that your stuff's backed up. And not all the time was the concept ignored. They had spent money and put in tape drives and hard drives, and they're flipping things around. But at the end of the day, we found if we ever had to get something from there, the data actually wasn't on there because they'd just been blindly doing this without seeing what was going on. So that's the good part of the stat. 75% of them had actually backups, but unfortunately they were compromised, and that's horrible. We addressed that yesterday, but yeah, another part of that plan I talked about air gap yesterday. It's very important that the bad guys can't shut down or delete your backups from within your environment. So if they get control of your environment, you got to make sure wherever your backups are offsite that they can't get control of that environment as well. And another interesting stat: 71% of attacks are on small businesses. Do you still think you're not a target? 71%. That's ridiculous. And it's just because you're low hanging fruit. You're an easy target. Really interesting story too that I just, or stat I should say, that came out of this was FedEx. They got compromised, and we really didn't hear a ton of it because it was a pretty short, but their systems were down. Their overall cost was $300 million. They didn't pay the bad guys a dime. Good for FedEx. Go FedEx. And you might say 300 million is a lot, but I'd like to see this is FedEx globally. I don't know what they take in per day even, but 300 million. You know, I'm almost thinking that that was just a calculated risk that they took in their disaster recovery planning. So, but they didn't pay the bad guys and they got everything back, at least to our knowledge. What I would like to see is Maersk. I don't know if anyone knows Maersk. They have all the international shipping and the boats and I shouldn't call them boats. They're ships. They're massive zip codes on the water that move stuff around, right? So they were hit, and I wish I had looked that up prior to doing this live broadcast because I'd like to see what their stat is. Maybe I'll throw it in tomorrow night's. But like I said, we're going to keep this one short tonight. These are some real dollar sleep at night costs of not having a security plan in place. So if you haven't watched the prior videos, go and do that. And if you have any questions, always reach out. Put them in the comments. Email us. However you want to contact us, that's fine. And we will be back tomorrow. And if this information was good, please do share it and like it so that we can spread the word to others. Good night.